Buenos dios. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. And today is Thursday, May the 19th of 2022. And the time is 1 p.m. Central. As always, brothers, look at the powerful message. We're going to jump right in. We're going to talk about less is more. But the real message behind the message, that's behind the message is awareness is what you select. Emotion is what you create. Awareness, consciousness selects, emotions create. We want to break down a little bit more as we're getting into deal with the same overall theme that we will be using for the next 7 to 10 days as we're breaking down the behind scenes of money and what money really is. And this is really goes with that series, but again, this is for the public because this is just some more general information to help you understand that mindset is what is needed in order for you to solve problems. Tactics, strategies is what you need in order to monetize those problems. And most people pursue step-by-step processes and systems. But as we were talking about yesterday, as we were going with the example of Sister Cheryl West and the water machine and Dr. Stan and her book and Sister Addie and her book and Sister Diane and Brother Richard and even myself with my products and services and information where we put in so much emphasis or we put emphasis on really ignoring the fact that we already have the product service information to generate the capital that we say that we want, but we don't take action. So the question is, how come we don't take action with the stuff that God has already provided us? In other words, God has already given us everything that we need for life and godliness. I can go through everybody on this call and you are just bubbling with resources and talent, yet we're still striving instead of thriving. Why are we thriving when actually you can create more with less? And it's very interesting because I'm learning, in fact, the less I do, the more money I'm making. And so I'm having to force. This is weird. I have to force myself to do less. And so in order for me to grow and get to the next level, I really, every day, I got to force myself to do less. Why? Because the more you teach what you do, the less they need you. It's very interesting because there's a fine line because you have to share. You got to share information. When we talked about yesterday, you got to be able to educate people. You got to be able to entertain people. You got to be able to motivate people. But the more you educate, the more you entertain, and the more you motivate, the less they buy. So the more you do, actually, the less they do. I think about people that I really want, like family members that you really, really want to help, and they say, hey, man, for example, I had one family member, a wife's side of the family, just like, man, Doc, I remember when you guys met, man, you was basically, everybody in the family was against the marriage, nobody liked you, blah, 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 you was a deadbeat. Now, man, I see how you turn your life around, man, and, how the relationship is blah, blah, blah. I'm interested. Send me some information. Never heard from the guy since. And it's amazing how we all do this. And so now, in order for you to get more, you have to now do less. Now, it's a fine line, because I'm not talking about, laziness and, Popeye's chicken sandwiches and watching Love and Hip Hop. I'm talking about everybody on this call is just like me. You really enjoy, you really love helping people. You love what you do. You're really putting your best foot forward. And you're like, Doc, I'm making this work, brother. I really, really, really want to be successful. You really honing and working on your craft, as they say. But the problem is a mindset. It's not a tactic or a strategy. And so awareness is the mindset. Emotions are the tactics. So as we'll continue to break down later on tonight as we get into it. And again, tonight's message, there's a spring football game. My bonus son has a game tonight, so it's kind of early, but because it's just a little high school scrimmage game, and so it may be a little later tonight. So it'll probably be at 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Central. I'll keep you guys posted. But it's extremely important because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is really it's a total different game when you get to the point where now you're like, okay, I got a few duckies in my pocket, and I want to keep those duckies in my pocket. So remember, we talked about the 3 levels of money, which is really the spirit realm. Making, keeping, building all require different mindsets. It's crazy. So I am, I can, and I have. Those are all 3 different mindsets. But yet you got to have all 3 mindsets at the same time. And you're vacillating, you're bouncing in between those 3 mindsets. That's the science and technology of money. But what we're talking about, what we're really talking about is less is more. When I say less is more, I'm meaning that you have to do less when it comes to physical things. And you have to be able to shift your mindset. So nothing happens in your life until there is a mind shift, until you are able to change your identity. So how do you shift your identity? See, most of us, we put all of our eggs in the basket of, hey, I need a step-by-step system. I do that too. I like talking about the process because process leads to improvement. But there's a reason why you have product, service, and information. They're just sitting on the shelf collecting dust because it's not the product, the service, or the information. It's the mindset that's behind the product, service, or information that doesn't see the value in the product, the service, or information. So when I say more is less, I'm talking about awareness. Number one, awareness locks spirituality. What does that mean? It's very, very interesting because when I talk about awareness, I'm talking about what we call consciousness. So consciousness locks, and the wheel of feelings, we call emotions, they attract what you lock. So consciousness creates, as we talked about in the private show, an image of God, images of God. So money is an image of God. God is an image that allows you to generate, operate, and direct. So you don't have that image. That's the same as your will of feelings. That's just your life optimization chart, your life optimization circle. That circle, each one of those numbers contain an attribute or characteristic that allows you to feel. You have a specific emotional state. That's a mental disposition. So your awareness, your consciousness, that locks your spirituality. Your emotion attracts what's locked inside of your spirituality. So you have a mental image in the brain of the self. Let me say it again. You have a mental image in the brain of the self. Let me say it again. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, you see yourself how? And as I talk about it in every single show, the way that you see yourself, that's the way that you be yourself. You cannot be what you cannot see. And no matter what tactics, strategy, product you have, you're not going to promote it because you don't see the product, because you don't see yourself. So you can't be what you can't see. Now, let me say it again because, again, what we're talking about is behind the scenes stuff. So now, what are you saying? Well, you got a self-image problem. We all do. That's what we've been working on. Every day we work on the same thing. Every day we just take one block off of your the wall that you have built up. So you put yourself inside of a brick wall cage, and all we're doing is we're taking it down brick by brick, one at a time. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. You cannot be what you cannot see. And so this show and every show is about vision. Mental picture. Money is the vision. Money is a mental image inside of the brain. Remember, money, feelings, emotions, imagination is an image inside of the brain. And so without these images that's inside of the brain are called images of God. And remember, God is the ability to generate, operate, and direct. So if there is a lack of generating, there's a lack of operating, there's a lack of directing, then there is a lack of what I call images. So, but images is spirit. So when we look at the spirit realm, what we are talking about today is the fact that everybody on this call, you have a spirit. The spirit has control of your soul. And your soul is manifesting it through your body. And so when we talk about this, what we're really talking about is what we call spirit. And unfortunately for all of us, our spirit, which is the group of related thought, which is what, again, we're going back to the same old message, because we got to beat this horse until your image, till you look in the mirror and you just, people don't want to be around you. Everywhere you go, people get pissed off because your energy is just, you are too happy. Everything's going on and people are like, don't you see what's going on in the world today? Because you got an image in your brain. You don't got the image of the world. So the predictive programming that everybody else is programmed. So you are the only program that's not programmed. It's like the Matrix. You're the only person that sees the numbers, the green. Everybody else sees the Matrix. So everybody else goes outside. They see the gas prices. They see the food is going up. You should go to Walmart, $100, you come out with 5 bags. Now you go to Walmart, $100, you come out with 1 bag. So everybody else is like, damn, do you see that? And you're just like, all I see is win, 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 no matter what. When I lose, I win. When I win, I win. So the ability to see is what we're talking about today. That's the matrix. So awareness selects the image in the brain, but emotions attract the image into the life. And so that's how I accomplish more with less. Everybody will get to the point when you realize that the more you teach the step-by-step process, the less you reach. And it's sad, but it's the truth. So I have to be careful with teach, because I love to teach, but it's a trick, it's a trap. That's why the best thing that happened to me was getting my YouTube channel deleted. Because there's gurus everywhere. So the more you teach, the less you reach. So that means the less you reach, the less you keep. So now I've learned the difference between teaching and marketing. Now, let's say it again. Because the more you teach, the less you reach. Now, we all want to reach people. That's the whole reason that we teach. But you can't give the cow away because people won't buy the milk. And so, now remember, now I'm at the top level now. I'm talking about money. I'm at the top level. So I started off like everybody else, poor. Poor people talk about paper money. So the more you teach, the less you reach. But people want you to teach, but they don't understand that what you're doing is actually you are actually doing them a disservice. Like I was telling you guys about raising your children. As I found out, I thank God that I wasn't in position to be able to do everything for my kids. Because if I was, I'm going to do it. But like any parent. If you got the money, the kids ask you for it, so you're going to give it to them. And I look at the difference between my first marriage and this marriage. Because in this marriage, the kids are a lot more affluent. And they do less work. You got to, we have to beg them to take the trash out. Like it's crazy, but it's just a part of the culture though. It's not the kids' fault because the more you give, the less I do. So the more I teach, the less people I reach. And it's crazy because it doesn't seem that way, because I would think that if I treat you good, you would appreciate it. But I remember my younger brother Gary, when he lived with me, he was a kid growing up with in San Diego. And it was right before I got married. I was about, man, because it was just me and him. And I lived with my brothers and sisters who was all in San Diego. Man, I was, I had active duty military and I had two part-time jobs. Man, I was living the dream. 2 cars. I brought my brother everything. And I remember the clothes would be balled up underneath the bed and all this stuff. He'd have food in between the mattresses. He was calling my sisters and telling my sisters that, yeah, Willie's not feeding me. I was like, what? The Nico got food stuck in between the mattresses in his bed. But he was raised like that. So when I got him, he was already programmed because he was walking the streets in a little town in Katy when he called me and said, hey, bro, I need a place to stay. That's why I brought him to San Diego. But it's interesting, the more I did for him, the less he valued it. But then he graduated from high school. He started working. Man, when he brought his own clothes, man, they was clean. They would take it to the cleaners. They was pressed. His pants was starched. They was hung up in the freaking closet. But all the shit I brought him was under the bed, balled up. Same thing. It's crazy. The more you do for people, the less they value it. So the more you teach, the less you reach. Awareness locks. Emotion attracts what is locked. Now, remember, I'm talking about higher level stuff. I'm not talking about, which is tough because it's hard to talk to or explain constructs and concepts to people who have not experienced it. It's like, it's difficult to talk to, if you've never been to Japan, it's difficult for me to explain the culture, what it's like, cherry blossom times, the winters, the Japanese people. When I was stationed over there, it's like culture shock. So you can't really, you gotta go. You gotta go there and experience it yourself. And so today's message is the more that you teach, the less that you reach. So spiritually, what does that mean? Well, God is saying the same thing to you right now. The big G purposely doesn't allow you access to unlimited information. Because awareness, that's the whole thing about the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So this is what I call the secrets of mind power. This is how you unlock unlimited power and potential. So what I did was I realized with my real eyes that these are real lies. That's what I did. I realized, I just said to myself, so now anything comes out, that's a lie. I don't care who says it. It comes on the news, like they just had the thing that just happened in Buffalo, New York. White kid goes to Buffalo, drives, black community, on the news, that's a lie. Immediately. That's what that's a. And then I seek out to prove them. Because I used to just, oh man, that's bad. I feel sorry for those people, like Sandy Brook, and then all the people that supposedly died. Y'all remember the astronauts that went up in space? When the black lady, the one black astronaut, and they died, there's pictures of all of them in other countries walking around, living their life in seclusion. I don't know if y'all seen the YouTube video. Now, I know what you're going to say. Same thing I used to say. Doc, that's a conspiracy for the praise Jesus. I just posted a video of the little kid that was poisoned, posted on my Facebook page, that little African kid. That I tell you guys that they've been trying to bump him out because he's airplane. I know, first he has a television, he has a car and a helicopter that runs off of nothing. It just runs off of the air. And he's a little Nigerian kid. It's on my Facebook channel. And I told you guys, I thought they had bumped him out, but he survived. And so now they said there's been multiple attempts on his life. I told you guys that was going to happen like 6 months ago. I'm surprised he's still walking around. The dude must got some serious bodyguards. So let me make sure you understand what's going on. See, awareness or lack of awareness means a lack of reality. See, if you got a, man, if you got a golf ball size awareness, you have a golf ball size reality. If you read one book, you got one book reality. If you've read 100 books, you got 100 book reality. See, your awareness, consciousness, perception, remember, all this goes back to the same thing. When we talk about money is your worldview. The amount of money you make is determined by the size of the view that you have. See, the more I get exposed to reality, which comes from a set of beliefs that are the fundamental aspects of fabric of how this universe works. So if you do not have an understanding of the fabric of this reality and how it works, then you will not be able to have the rods and cones in your brain by which to perceive this reality. And if you do not develop the rods and cones in the eyes of the brain, I mean the eyes, then you will not be able to override the reticular activating system, which according to Dr. Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza and all the neuroscientists out there, you don't see with your eyes, you see with your brain. And so if your brain has a golf ball size reality, your eyeballs can see something the size of a football stadium, but it would be reduced down to the size of a golf ball. So I don't care what you see. It's only what you can perceive. Because the brain blocks out anything that doesn't remember, whatever you identify with, the brain will verify. So the brain does not verify anything that you do not identify. So if you identify yourself as a Christian, the brain will only verify Christian. If you identify yourself as a Muslim, the brain will only verify Muslim. If you identify only as a Buddhist, the brain will block out every other religion except Buddhism. And the only thing, the brain validates you. The brain doesn't, because the brain want to keep you safe. They want to keep you secure. So no information that challenges your belief system will ever come into view. You will automatically block it out. That's how the reticular activating system works. And so when you get to the level of over and understanding, and it's interesting because when all I had was, remember, the 3 levels. When all I had was chasing money, paper, I was on the treadmill of life that we've been talking about in the private show every night. And I was on that treadmill of earn. And then when I earned some money, or I created some money, or I made money, I felt like I won. And when I won, I felt like I needed a reward. So it was earn, win, spend, do it again. 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 That's poverty. Every Negro and non-Negro in the hood, that's what they do every day. They wake up, they are on the treadmill of life. They cannot get off. No matter what they do, they can't get off the treadmill because they're in a cyclical cycle. They're in a conquer. They're in a church. That's what the word church means. It means cycle. So when I read, when we broke down in the private show, you guys, in the B money thing, we've been breaking this down. All poor people are the same. They're all chasing paper, just like I used to. All rich people are chasing things. All wealthy people are chasing ideals. But all abundant people are being embodied. So when I got to the level of abundance, that means my money now makes money. So I embody wealth now. That's 963. Remember, wealth, ideals is 432. Things where you got a bunch of cars and houses and stuff, and you got a chains, and you see all these Negroes all chained up. They walk around with the Mr. T starter kit. You see rappers still walking around with the Mr. T starter kit. They got all the damn, braid. That's things. They like that. But that shows you that they're on 528. Poor people are on 345. Just like in the movie with Keanu Reeves, where he makes that robot, and the name of the robot, you guys remember? The name of the robot was 345 because the robot was able to do what Keanu Reeves was doing, so he could go and do other things. Because remember, he had lost his family. I forgot the exact name of the movie, but it wasn't iRobot. It was the other one with Keanu Reeves where he had lost his family and blah, blah, blah. So we're on a treadmill that talks about in the Bible when it talks about the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, the cares of this world. That's the three levels of money. That's talked about in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10, when talking about the love of money is the root of all evil. And we broke down that word, remember, phalangeros in the Greek. So, but it's really not the love of money, it's the love of what? Greed. Because that's the circle of earning. We want to earn. See, you got to stop making money, stop creating money, and stop chasing money. And you have to start being money. See, you can't have money until you be money. So that's what I mean by less is more. But remember, the more I teach, the less I reach. It's a trick. Because if I think I need to get something, then I'm violating universal spiritual law that says, to him that has something, more of that something will be given. So all I got to do is establish the mental disposition. So that's when I say, I am money. That's when Jesus says, I am that I am. So Jesus says, when you see me, you see the Father. So that's the biblical way of saying the same thing. Greater is he that's in me than is in the world. Which is what? God has given us everything that we need for life and godliness. So we still got another problem though, Doc. What's the problem? Awareness. What does that mean? Identity. What does that mean? How do you see yourself? Oh shit. We got a serious problem. Why? And like I said yesterday, Sister Cheryl West has had her website up for, I don't even know. I would say, how long, Sister Cheryl? 5 years? Selling the same product that I just noticed that somebody else was selling, and I'm going to pay them $5,000. And Sister Cheryl West has the exact same thing. But I didn't know. But she's a client of mine. I talked to Sister Cheryl West. I don't know. How many one-on-ones have we done, Sister Cheryl? Quite a few. I had Sister Cheryl write her book. She got a book called Mentalness out. Right, Sister Cheryl? Got a website and everything. Sister Cheryl never mentioned anything about that she sells Cajun water, how you Cajun, whatever you call it. Kanggen, I think it's called. It's basically electrified and purified water. But what it do? It basically does the same thing that, my boy Dr. Robert Beck used to do when he had the electrification. Remember that thing that would put a very, very small electrical volt into the bloodstream? What does it do? It electrifies the blood. It keeps the blood from clumping up. So that way, especially if you got slow moving blood, what we call hypertension, you can't have it. Why? Because you actually, when you drink alkaline water, it just neutralizes the stomach. But if you drink this water, it bypasses the stomach and goes directly into the bloodstream to assist. Now it does a bunch of other stuff, but what is the point? How come Sister Cheryl isn't telling everybody about it? She don't see no value in it. How come? So the lady that I was going to buy my machine from, she was making $5,000 to $20,000 a week with the same thing that Sister Cheryl West got sitting on her sink in her garage or in her house. So how come Sister Cheryl West is not making $1,000, $5,000, $20,000 a week? She got the same machine. She got the same knowledge. So how come? Everybody on this call, I ain't picking on Sister Cheryl West. Shit, look at me. I got 300 books. I don't promote all 300 books. I promote different, but I need a whole organization of promoters. I'm a creator. Now I need promoters. And I need product fulfillers. I already got I got a whole team of processors. Eventually I'll have an organization where I'm paying you guys $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. Why? Because I can create the shit, but I can't promote it. So there's a difference between teaching and marketing. There's a big difference between creating and being. So I don't want you guys to create money. I don't want you guys to make money. I don't want you guys to chase money because you are a magnet. You're supposed to attract money because you are money. You are attractive. Everybody on this call is attractive. Everybody on this call is a god or a goddess. You are a generator and an operator. But we got a conundrum. You're not aware of your power. You are a super. Everybody's a superpower. God don't make junk. But we got a mindset problem, which creates a tactics and a strategy problem. So when it comes to marketing, when it comes to money, when it comes to health, wealth, wisdom, relationships, all relationship problems are the result of an identity problem. Can't nobody disrespect you unless you let them. As I laid up at the beginning of the show, the biggest mistake that pretty much most women would, I talked to my wife about this, the only time we get into heated discussions is because of the kids. Why? Because I've seen it in every relationship. Meaning, now I'm married, women love their children. They're supposed to. But ladies, you ain't supposed to empower and enable them as a mother. They should stand on this. They should be, if you raise them right, like, I ain't trying to brag, but all my kids is, they out making the same or more money than me. They all got their own business. Okay, so you got June the 4th, I'll be in Dallas or McKinney, Texas, June the 4th. Check out the website. My daughter's opening her second location in Dallas, McKinney, first location in Flower Mile, but all those are suburbs around there. And we're also looking at the third location in Frisco. What's the point? Production. So fruit. What does it come from? Does it come from having a nice website? Does it come from having your color scheme? Does it come from having an awesome logo? Does it come from, having a great marketing plan? Does it come from having a sales team? No, it does not. It comes from having a mental disposition. What's a mental disposition? A mental disposition is, I wish a Negro would. If you ain't got that disposition, keep your day job. Because people do what they want to do, period. That's why I say, ladies, if a man likes you, he will find you. You ain't got to call him. He going to call you. Trust and believe that. If your dude ain't blowing your phone up and freaking walking around with a flashlight looking for your ass in the broad daylight, you should get you another dude. He said, that's simple. That's how men are simple. We want to eat. We need to, we need the cookie. And we need just a little bit of admiration. Every once in a while to say, honey, that was a good job. Even if you got to fake the phone. Just blow, all we need you to blow live, especially if you got to, if black, because black men, there's nowhere on earth a black man can go and get validated. Except at home. But what if he goes home and all he is womp. Well, if he ain't gone physically, he's gone mentally. It just give a little bit of time, his black ass is going to be gone. Why? We need to be validated just like everybody else. Now, it should come from the South. But just like everybody else, it'd be nice to get an attaboy. You say, hey, honey, I appreciate you. I know you trying, even if your man ain't Superman. I would say, being black in America ain't no joke. Ladies, y'all know the same thing. Hell, being black, white, anybody now, they're attacking, and white folks attacking white folks now. It's crazy. What's the point, Doc? What's the point? The point is, unless you have a mental disposition that says this is money. You know what money is? Money is, I'm going to figure this shit out. That's what I do. Every day I wake up, the devil, the enemy, the bad guy, Biden, Trump, whoever, roadblock. You know what I say? Now, this is what we talked about last night. What is money? Money is, number one, a mindset. Number two, a process. Number three, implementable. Number four, duplicatable. Number five, bearing fruitable. If your shit don't bear fruit, scrap it. What does that mean? My daughter was telling me, Dad, I got a lot of people come to my website. I'm getting all of these visitors and all these views, but ain't nobody's in the dance studio. I said, Charlie, you fishing in the wrong pond. That's always number one. If you doing everything right and nobody's biting, you got the wrong market. Or you don't have an irresistible offer. The offer should be so good that I can't pass it up. If you got a product, if you got a service, if you got information, and it's out there, and nobody's buying it, that's because, remember, you're not educating me on how your product, your service, your information solves my problem. I don't want to hear about the colors of it. I don't care how it spin, how it did this. I don't want to hear about how it's put together. I ain't interested in that. I got a light bill due on Friday, bro. Today's Monday. So can you help me figure out how I'm going to pay my light bill on Friday? If not, next. I weigh 350. I went to the doctor. The doctor said, Nick, well, you got 30 days to drop 50 pounds. So can you help me drop 50 pounds? Because I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be on no damn dialysis. I don't want no high blood pressure. I don't know, whatever. I just went to the doctor and they told me I got 30 days, bro, to drop 50 pounds. Can you help me drop 50 pounds? Well, next. See, life is not hard. We make it hard, but it's not. So, number one, everybody on this call, we all really, no matter what level we are on, we all really have the same issue. We have a lack of awareness of our touch tone. Now, a touch tone, as I said before, is what loves you. Everybody walking there talking about do what you love. That's bull hockey. I tried that shit for 50 years, bro. You're just going to create another job for yourself. I've been there, done that. You do what loves you. Now, I've been saying this. Now, this is what I do now. Now, y'all know I'm driving my $100,000 car. Shit, I'm getting ready to even buy another one to trade that one in. I'm getting a house built from scratch. Life is good. Got money in the bank. When there's a recession, people losing jobs. I'm making money. Everybody else is talking about that they losing money. But why? So you got to have money. To have money. Hold up, Doc. If I'm broke, how the hell I have money? It's your perception. It's the same thing that happened when my daughter died. When Shamora died on June the 19th, 2 years ago, 2019, I got the call. She was in Dallas at my oldest daughter's house. Now, I would be dead right now if I didn't understand what I'm going to tell you. And I'm telling you, everybody get a chance at the back. Hopefully yours is 1,000 years from now. I don't wish this on no father, especially fathers. We are not designed to bury our daughters. That's not how the shit's supposed to work, man. But the devil don't play fair, man. So I lost my mom shit when I was like 10 and 11 years old. I tried to commit suicide 3 times. Obviously, God had a plan for me. That's the only reason I'm still here. Now, I'm not telling you no shit I read on no book. This is real life. You should never follow somebody that ain't been where you're trying to go. Now, I started from scratch, from bootstraps. And I made a decision that I'm going to sit at home in my drawers and make money. I'm sitting at home right now in my underwear talking to you. I'm going to take this talk, I'm going to put it on TikTok, and I'm going to sell it. And I'm going to make money off of it. Just like everything that I do. I monetize everything. Trying to figure out how to monetize my dirty drawers. I'll be monetizing them money too. Okay, that probably was a little too much. My bad. But what is the point? Well, spirituality is awareness. Money and spirit is the same. Now tell your preacher that, because your preacher is going to tell you money is the root of all evil. That's why most Christians don't have money. How can you have something that you hate? See, you don't order with your conscious brain. You don't order with your subconscious brain. You order with your unconscious brain. So how do you feel? Remember Norval Goddard's book, Feeling is the Secret? That's money. Money is a feeling. Why do y'all think I drive around in the convertible $100,000 Corvette? Because I like the way it makes me feel. That's it. Yeah, I don't. People ask me, man, like Corvette enthusiast. I ain't no Corvette enthusiast. My neighbor, I tell you guys, like, yeah, man, is that a 6.25? Is that a 4 liter? Is that a 8 liter? You know, man, how many bucks? Shit, I don't know. How many horsepower? Dude, I didn't even open the hood when I bought it. What? You? No. I don't worship that damn thing. It's a thing. I'm interested in a disposition. Don't chase paper. It ain't worth nothing. Don't chase things. It ain't worth nothing. And don't chase ideals. Chase dispositions. Now, what is a disposition? A disposition is a level of what we call confidence. But where does it come from? Well, I get my confidence from little victories. Okay, where that come from? In the morning, first thing I do, I make my bed every morning. Why? That's an accomplishment. My brain says, high five, Doc. You make your bed up. Now, you would think, hey, come on, man, make the bed up. What? I brush my teeth, high five myself. I take a shower, high five myself. Go down in the garage to do my workout, I high five myself. In other words, I keep promises to myself. Somebody call me, hey, Doc, meet me over here, bro, let's do this. I'm sorry, homie. I got to keep the promise I made to myself. I love me more than I love you. Now, I think you the bomb.com, no disrespect. But the Bible tells me that I'm supposed to love the Lord our God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Then the second law is like the first. Love the neighbor as yourself. Now, the problem is that we don't know that we're God. We don't know that we're an individual expression of God on earth. So we think God is in the building. We think God is outside, and we think God is in the book. We don't understand that God has not written his laws on tablets of stone any longer. He's written them on the hearts and on the minds of his people. Now, I'm not against worshiping God, but I don't worship God because I am God. That'd be like me worshiping myself. That's a little freaky. Now, I'm not, that's rough, but you got to understand what Jesus said and what the Bible said and what everything said, because that's spirit. So what is spirit? Spirit is a group of related thoughts. So your thoughts are not related. What does that mean? Well, I got a thought in my conscious brain. Then I have a thought in my subconscious brain. Then I have a thought in my unconscious brain. None of these three are talking to each other. That's the problem. So what do you mean? Well, you got a neocortex. You got a paleocortex. And you got a little reptilian. That reptilian, that is the root chakra. Then you got the heart chakra. And then you got the crown chakra. Now you got other chakras in between, but those are the big three, which controls the big three frequencies, 432, 345, and 528. The granddaddy is outside of what we call the corona radiata. That's why they gave you the coronavirus, to attack the corona radiata. Google it. Corona radiata. That sits in the brain. That operates on what they call gamma brain waves, which is 963. Nobody talks about that. So they gave us paper, things, and ideals. But the scripture says, let this mind be in you. So you are supposed to be the vibrational equivalent. But you worship God, but you don't see yourself as. So that means, you are a lesser deity. What does that mean, though? Well, that means that this dude, this low vibrational frequency wave of vibration, we'll call him Lucifer, since that's what everybody else calls him. But there is root chakra. Now, remember, you got the coccyx bone, or the sacral pump that pumps CSF up the spinal cord. And then you got the cranial pump, which most people don't know that they've got a pump in the brain. Just Google cranial pump. And Google sacrum if you don't believe me. Or Google Kundalini Kunda Buffer. Well, we got a conundrum. The conundrum is most of us, we didn't read where it says Isis, Ra, and El. Is Ra, El. That is paleo, reptilian, and, that's the triune brain. That's the three parts of the brain. That's spirit, soul, and body. That's the law of three. That's faith, hope, and love. So that's the Trinity. That's the all-seeing eye. Like in the movie Dr. Strange. So you got to activate it. That's when you see yourself. That's what the all-seeing eye. The all-seeing eye means that you, the I, the E-Y-E, and the letter I, all three of y'all become one. Your spirit, your soul, and your body, bam. When you see yourself and you stop wanting. You stop striving. You stop needing. You get to the point where it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Thank you very much. Now, you're not against outside the system, but you don't need it. You can figure the shit out yourself. You're a grown-ass man. You're a grown woman. So now, you are earth, air, spirit, fire, water. Yah, hey, shin, va, hey. So that's you. That's why when you read in the Bible, Jesus said that anybody who do not believe that I came interior, the body. It's in the Bible, in 1 John, I think it is. It's in there. So Jesus says that anybody who do not believe that I came in the flesh is not of God. Now, I didn't say it. He said, this is how you know. This is how you test the spirit. So if you're saying that you are not, now remember, this is the true destiny of mankind. This is not Constantine or King James' destiny. This comes from the big G. See, every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. And every spirit that does not confess that Jesus is not from God, this is the spirit of the Antichrist. 1 John chapter 4, verse 2, 3, 4. Now, if you look that up in the Greek and the Aramaic, it means the inside or internal. That's why the Bible says Christ in you, the hope of glory. He's inside of you. Now, you can say it is, like I think it is, the laminum, it's in the shape of the cross. Or you could say it is the corpus callosum that holds the left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere of the brain together. Whole brain. According to the CIA, that document and the whole book and the whole series I did on HemiSync, HEMI-Sync, SYNC, Google it, recently released. They say that is what you and I call Corpus Christi, city in here in Texas, or Corpus Callosum. It's whole brain thinking, just like at the Tower of Babel. So awareness locks images. We call it vision. Where there is no vision, what happens to the people? According to the Bible, where there is no vision, people cast off restraint. They do not have the ability to exercise self-control. What's going on in the world today? Nobody has an image of themselves in their own head as God. They got T.D. Jakes, Crypto Dollar, Joel Osteen, Buddha, Muhammad, some old dude in the chair, whatever. Somebody, you got an image in your head that doesn't look like you. When I close my eyes at night, I have an image of me living my best life. Now, that is considered either selfish or promotion of the flesh, especially in Christian circles. That's the reason the average Christian is broke. Because you can't be what you can't see. So how do you see yourself? Now, I'm not talking about warm and fuzzy make-believe. I'm talking about true, authentic confidence that comes from certainty. See, I'm very, very, very certain. Now, certain means I have a solution to my own problems and other people that are going through the same problem. Let me give you these 3 steps. This will change your life forever if you can overstand. And I know you can. Otherwise, you'll be watching Love and Hip Hop right now. See, attitude is the result of your worldview. Attitude comes from your belief system. If you believe Jesus Christ is Lord, your whole worldview is going to be based upon Jesus Christ is Lord. My question to you is, Jesus Christ is Lord. You're not. Jesus Christ is. So you have a problem, you go to Jesus. You lay your burdens at the cross, like doing an altar call at church. You go up there, you receive prayer from the reverend, the doctor, or the bishop. He say, brother, sister, I used to be one of those reverends, those doctors, and those bishops. I used to lay hands on people. I used to pray for them. And I would tell them, same thing that you believe. God's going to do it for you, brother. See, that is your formula for life. That is your idolatry. But it's spelled I-D-E-O. It's not spelled I-D or try an idol. That's an idol. Anything outside of itself that you worship is an idol. Ooh, let's ready for another time. So your formula for life is different from mine. Because a worldview is a set of beliefs about the fundamental aspects of reality that you hold true, that influences how you perceive, think, know, and do. You can't do nothing outside of your belief system. Because your reticular activating system creates what is called lactic acid, adrenaline, cortisol. That means you get concerned. So if I say anything that violates your belief system right now, you're going to hang up. Why? Because that's your identity. See, you make your beliefs, and then your beliefs make you. Damn. Let me say it again. You make your beliefs. Your mom and daddy made it for you, but everybody on this call, we grown. There ain't nobody on this call that's under the age of 21. Based upon all the numbers that I see, that I know. What does that mean, Doc? What does that mean? That means you're a grown-ass man. That means you're a grown-ass woman. That means that you can challenge your belief systems, like I did. That means that you can go to Google, and you can Google Council of Nicaea, like I did. Then you can Google 5 councils of Nicaea, like I did. You can go to Google, and you can Google flat earth, round earth. You can do your own research now. Now, you do not have to regurgitate what TDJ. Now you can study to show yourself approved. So you are where you are because that's what you are. Remember we said the previous show where we talked about your circumstances match your vibration. You cannot experience a circumstance in your life that doesn't match a vibration in your head. Let me say it again. Bad shit happens because vibrations happen. That's tough, Doc. You telling me I'm ordering my own crazy? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Now, I know. You don't believe me? I understand. Unfortunately, there's some shit that they call science that usually trumps beliefs, like gravity. Now, if you don't believe in gravity, I recommend that you make sure you record it, though, because I want to see the video. Just go up on your roof, or you come to my house, and you climb on top of my roof. If you don't believe in gravity, you just say, Doc, gravity does not exist for me, brother. I got $100,000 say it does. Why? Those are universal spiritual laws. That means they apply to everybody that's in a body. Now, if you ain't got a body, okay, if you just a spirit, you're a sprite, you're a mojo, you're a jinn, you're a genie, okay, you're them. Why? You ain't supposed to be here on this planet anyway. You just hijacked somebody else's dirt suit. So I'm not talking to you. That may be some organic portals on the call. That may be some OPs. I don't know. What is the point, Doc? What is the point? The point is, my brothers and my beautiful, God-fearing, educated sisters, you bring about what you think about. Your circumstances always match your vibration. Your vibrational alignment should be based on your assignment. But most of us are not aligned. We have not aligned our mind with our God-given design. We align with our man or our woman or our little children. Y'all love y'all little children. I ain't mad at you. Most people are happy with not pursuing their dreams. It's what I've learned after 20 years of doing this. And I'm like, I've been encouraging, and people don't change. Why? They are happy being unhappy. They're like, Doc, I want to change. But look at their behaviors. Mine too. So what does that mean? Ambition or lack thereof, and action or lack thereof. Remember, there's no such thing as lack. There's just an abundance of nothing. Poverty is an abundance because Hero Israel, the Lord your God, is one. So God said, the big one, not the one in your church and the one in the Bible, the big God, the big G, not the Jehovah contract, another study for another time. Not the biological pattern or program that we all are under because of the reticular formation based upon the occult contract or the occult arch that was set up by the reptilian shadow government, for lack of a better term. That just simply means that we all been dumbed down. What does that mean, Doc? That just simply means we all dropped from vibrating in the 9 chi. We dropped down to 3D. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But now we got options. So we are all high value or high vibrational individuals. We have the potential to cancel this terrestrial contract and sign a new cosmic or celestial. Go from terrestrial to celestial. Go from corruptible to incorruptible. We should put on incorruptibility. That's what it says in the book. So the next thing is, okay, how do we do that? Well, we go from 2 strands to 12 by activating the magnet types inside of the brain. That's what the whole Magneto inside of the X-Men is all about. So how do we do that? Well, remember we broke down the word for the in the Bible. When you break it all the way down, the word money, it means images of God. Because when you break down the word shining things in silver, underneath that word there's a word argos, which means an image of God. So, does everybody on this call, do you see yourself as God? Mm-mm. You pray to God. You do not pray as God. I know. Because you're not producing the fruit of God. You're not doing what we just finished 6 months. We spent 6 months going through Genesis 1, 26, 27, and 28. 6 months. We went through module 1, govern, 2, rule, 3, control, 4, manage, 5, lead. Just go to the website, People Development Center. Why did I spend 6 months going through? Because that's how you be God on earth. See, you ain't supposed to have a government. Boo-boo, you are the government. Ooh. What? Let me get this right. So you're telling me that I don't need a president? Boo-boo. You don't need a president. You should be the president of you Incorporated. So what does that mean? What does that mean, though? Well, that means you got to govern. You fight the government, you go picket and march, and, activism is just another form of colonialism. See, money is security and certainty. Period. Drop the mic, exit the stage. Let me say it again slowly. Money is not paper. Money is not cars and houses and boats, yachts, and, all of this shit that everybody put the emphasis on. Money ain't no damn medallion. Money is not no damn Mr. T starter kit. Money is not people. I don't care how many women you got, bruh. That ain't money. Money is not things. And money is not ideals. Money is security and certainty. But where does security and certainty come from? See, if I lose all my money today, I am certain that I'll get it back tomorrow. Why? Number one, I have a mindset. My mindset says this. And thankfully, because my mom died when I was little, I had no choice but to figure shit out. Who am I going to call? Ghostbusters? My mom died, they dropped my little black ass off in Richmond, Texas. My brothers and sisters was around, I just started them in school. We all got separated. So we all had to grow up quick. We didn't have no 12-step program, bruh. Me and my brothers and sisters, we all had to learn on the fly. Everybody say, hey, bruh, I'm on your team, homie. I found out them niggas was fake. I was 10, 11, getting my ass whooped every day. I was calling my big brother, Glenn. I said, Glenn, you gotta help me out, man. Bro, shit, I ain't there, man. You gotta fight back. Yeah, shit, they bigger than me, man. Pick up something, dude. Run. Do something. Just don't let them just beat you, bro. I was a scared little chicken. But guess what? Dr. Jerome, it took me a little while to figure this shit out, Dr. Jerome. But when you get punched in the mouth a couple of times, you will figure it out. So, Sister Addie, it took me a little while, Sister Addie, but I figured this shit out. See, that's money. Money is a mental disposition that says, I don't know how, don't really care. You know, might be legal, shit, it might be illegal. All I know is I'm at point A, and I'm going to get to point B by Friday. That's money. And that creates a system. We call it a process. But first, we got to have a mindset. Today's message is awareness is a mindset. Emotion comes after. You know what? I had no emotion until after I said, you know what? I still remember to this day. I stole a bike. My supposedly brother, the nigga lived in the same house as me. He stole the bike from me, painted it, and pulled up on the, like, ain't that my bike? No, nigga, this ain't your bike. What, you gonna do something about it? You think you gonna take it? Well, shit, it was 3 of them. And they was all older than me. Man, they beat me like I was a red-headed stepchild. After that day, Dr. Jerome, I said, I ain't taking no more ass whoopings from no mother. It's been downhill since that, Dr. Jerome. Living the dream. That's money. So no, I didn't call on Jesus. Muhammad, Hare Krishna, Buddha, none of them no vibrational. Why? They ain't here. It was me and 3 dudes. So guess what? The next day, the same 3 dudes came back. Sister Stacy had a plan, Sister Stacy. Sister Stacy had a step-by-step process that was duplicatable and implementable. So every day, Sister Stacy, when I got off the bus, them Negroes was there waiting for me. That was a group, I remember they was called the Siraj. I don't know why they didn't like my little sister. I had no problem with it, but they had this dude, his name was Booker T. Everybody was scared of him. The Negro come out there doing flips. Well, he flipped and that 2x4 caught him right in the side of his head. Sister Stacy put his ass to sleep. The next day, it was him and some more dudes. So guess what we did, Sister Stacy? We did it again. After that, the rep got out, Sister Stacy. The dude is little, but he crazy as hell. I like that rep. So I just made sure that I enforced it every once in a while in case Negroes forgot. I used to love hitting Negroes in the head with bricks, with bottles, and bats. That was my step-by-step process. And it was duplicatable. And it was implementable. So guess what? Now I had something called certainty. So Sister Stacy, when I walked on the streets of Richmond, I can go back to Richmond right now, Sister Stacy. Everybody knows, yeah, that little nigga over there, he could watch him, bro. That fool is crazy as hell. I like that rep. Even when I was saved, licensed and ordained, I used to go home and tell them, I'm not that kind of Christian. I'm that one that Jesus is working on. You know, like I'm saved, but I ain't there yet. Put your hands on me if you want to. Yeah, I was one of them kind of Christians. So what are you saying, Doc? I'm simply saying you need self-realization and self-actualization. Anybody come and save you but you. Now, he might. I don't know. That's between you and whatever you got going on in your head. All I know is for me, myself, and I, all 3 of us, if it is to be, it's up to me, myself, and I. So we're going to figure this shit out. So when you say that, the brain goes to work and provides you with solutions to that. But if you never say that, if you put it off onto somebody else, they got to figure it out. You got to wait. Come back next Sunday. Make sure you bring your tithes and offerings though. We gonna believe God. That God gonna do it for you. Just make sure you bring that tithes and offerings. But we see you next Sunday. Won't he do it? Yes, he will. So you got a choice today, brother. I've already been down there. Spent 50 years in organized religion. Now, I'm not talking about a personal, private, productive relationship. You got one of those, okay, Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. But if you waiting for somebody to figure out your problem, now your light bill due on Friday, not mine. So if it's Monday and you got a light bill due on Friday, what's your plan? That you've already did before, that you can duplicate and do it again. That's money. That gives you a feeling that Novell Goddard talks about, that my boy Reverend Ike talks about, and that Norman Vincent Peale talks about, and that my boy, from Think and Grow Rich talks about, and my boy that wrote the book Mind Power, John Keogh talks about, and my boy who goes cybernetics. They all say the same thing. My boy Wallace Waddles, who wrote the book The Science of Getting Rich, they all say the same. Even the Bible says a double-minded man ain't gonna receive shiznit. Okay, maybe it doesn't say that. I kind of added the last word. I think it says a double-minded man will not receive no thing. I gave y'all the W.E. Rogers version of the Bible. What are you saying, Doc? Well, I'm just simply expressing, exposing, explaining to you today that it's extremely important that you stop lying to yourself. How you lie to yourself? You telling yourself it's okay, Doc. No, it's not okay. It's not okay for you to operate and vibrate less than. See, consciousness has three aspects to it. The consciousness is made up of your conscious brain. That's what we're doing right now. Well, you got a subconscious brain. That's the part of the brain that takes. If you say, I am rich, your subconscious brain is going to say, well, are you? Then it's going to go ask the unconscious brain, hey, unconscious brain, are we rich? Your unconscious brain goes, hell no, we ain't rich. Nico, did you check your bank account this morning? So your unconscious brain, that's how you order. The unconscious brain is a script that was wrote and sealed by the time you was 12. So you got to rewrite that mother. That's what I did. How do you rewrite the unconscious brain? Well, the Bible says faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. But you think the word of God is a book. You don't know that you are the living word. So your awareness selects your reality. Then your emotion attracts your manifestation in this physicality. Let me say this again slowly. Your consciousness, which is the result of the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. The unconscious brain must be changed from an abundance of nothing to an abundance of something. Because all you have is abundance. Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one. God is abundance. Jesus came that you may have what? I can't find nowhere where it says Jesus came that you may have poverty. I cannot find that nowhere. Jesus came that you may have life, and life more abundantly. So everybody on this call, you have an abundance of, you may have an abundance of uneasiness. You go to the doctor, they call that shit a disease. It's an abundance though. That's the only way they can detect it on the x-ray machine. You got an abundance of uneasiness. You have an abundance of ignorance. We call that lack of knowledge. Or you may have a abundance of the inability to validate yourself and anyone else. What is that? That's a bad relationship. Because everybody is where they're at because consciously or unconsciously, that's where they want to be. So the $1 billion question is, why are you who you are? I'm asking for a friend. I got another question for you though. Why are you where you are? So it's who you are and what. See, there is a design that comes from a designer. Now, a lot of people like to talk about the designer. We call him, her, or it God. God is the designer. But Jesus said, it is finished. I'm out. I did what I'm supposed to do. I'm going back home. But I'm going to leave you with the comforter. He's going to hang out with you in case you got any questions. Go talk to him. Don't call me, bruh. My shit's done. That's in the book. So I don't know why everybody keeps calling him. When he told you to stop calling him. Now, what does that mean, though? Well, in English, that means that when you spend your entire life looking for the thing that you've already got, see, the best way to help other people is help yourself. Now, that's what I call common sense. But as long as you are fixing to be, you will never be. So you got to be. You just got to tell your brain, I am rich. That's what I did. Then you got to define rich, because the brain will say, we're rich. Okay, what's it mean? Well, for me, rich was 1K a day. That's how I play. So I made it my own mantra. 1K a day. That's how I play. So my brain was like, cool. That's 1K a day. Let's play. How we gonna operate and direct $1,000 a day? Like, the shit gonna just fall out of the sky? Or we gonna wait on Jesus to do it? So I asked my brain, if you do this, watch how fast it works. Remember, ask it in a form of an affirmation. I said, my brain, how are we making $1,000 every day? You know, my brain said, first thing that happened was my YouTube channel got deleted. It's crazy. Go into the Bible. King Solomon asked God. God liked him and said, hey, dude, you can have anything you want. He said, dude, I want wisdom. Hey, you sure you want money, cars, houses, boats, women? You can have anything you want. Solomon says, I want wisdom. What did God send him? A problem. Woo! See, I like the way the big one, not the one in the churches, the big one works. The more problems you got, the more money you got. I love people that got a lot of problems. Damn, y'all some rich mother, but y'all don't know it. I mean, not you personally, but, you know, people you know. So people that you know that got problems, they rich. But they don't know they're rich because they think their problems are unsolvable. I ain't met a demon yet that can't be smoked. So we got a conundrum. The conundrum is, that's the conundrum. What's the conundrum? OM. So OM is like, it's like a humming. It's a vibration. When you go, like sol, mum, those are three words that all mean the same thing. Sun, sun, sun. The triune sun. That's you. So genetics is really genetics. So genetics, that's why we got the book of Genesis, but it's the book of Jinn. Jinn. Nobody tell you that. That's a secret too. Don't tell nobody. So what are the jinns? Well, the jinns, those and dudes in the Quran, they was made right before clay. That's you. And God told, hey, jinns, I got a new being. His name is Adam. Give him some love. The jinns was like, hell no, we ain't bowing down to no damn clay. Then God was like, this is all in the Quran. They took it out of the Bible, by the way. But it used to be in the Bible, too. Now, you got to understand Cain and Abel. Cain is code for gain. See, we are descendants of Abel. You are Abel. You can do anything. You just got to activate your third eye. Just like, Dr. Strange movie. But I know Hollywood stole the shit from the Big G. So the Ruach means breath. Remember I told you guys about the warrior breathing that I do? It's just basically just get your ass on a treadmill when you get heavy breathing, but just breathe through the nostrils. It gives you nitrogen because we don't breathe oxygen. Contrary to popular belief, don't believe me? Go to Google, type in what is air made of, or what is the atmosphere made up of, so that way you can stop buying the dominant culture's BS. So you are a nitrogen breather. That's why we got his tones wrapped around our DNA. The snake. Now, I know this is rough for some of you Alcidons, but Samael is the God of this world. Samael means, Sam means blind, El means God. However, all of this is not about the cosmoglator. So, you got to get rid of the lower root chakra, fun, fighting, and effing. You got to operate in the higher crown chakra, faith, family, and finances. So, that activates the nodes in your lip nodes. The nodes activate the notes. The notes create the noise. So that's why God gave you lip nodes. They are only activated by you when you turn your code downs on. That's why I gave you the deacon part. That's how the only way to turn your code on is when you operate in a certain frequency. It activates the DNA. And it unravels history, or his terms. It activates the DNA. That's why Adam was put to sleep. But nowhere in the Bible does it say he ever woke up. I mean, go back and read the story. When he was put to sleep, they put the rib out. He never, so everybody's here is asleep. So noise is code for gnosis. So until you make noise, you ain't got no gnosis. Look at the letters of the word. Remember, like I said, the word spine is the word penis. Look at the word spine, S-P-I-N. Look at the word penis. It has the same letters. Just move them around a little bit. Your spinal cord is your spiritual antenna. So until you have an resurrection, which is an erection, men, you know what I'm talking about. So, men, how do you have one of those? Well, the only way I know that you can have one of those is if you get stimulated. I mean, last I checked. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Well, most men, when they get stimulated, they get an erection. Because they're doing some sentence that they love, or they see something that they love, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go over there and hang out with that. So they activate. And then they can do it through what? Repetition. That means they can have an erection again. That's why we got the reptilian. So reptilian and repetition and reporters are all the same thing. So all of this is done by vibratory control. But your vibe comes from your verbs. Wrong verbs, wrong vibes. So I gave you your verbs. It's inside that life authorization circle. Each number has 12 verbs. You got 144 weapons. Those are what science calls your vibratory markers. Everybody has a specific vibratory marker that activates your God code or your God gene, just like in the movie Limitless. So you are a plasmonic, photonic being. Phonon is sound. Photon is picture. Plasma is the fifth element of the etheric or the etheric. You are a plasma. That's the new body. So all of that was said just so that you can understand when you are sealed in your forehead, that means that you've gotten rid of the reprobate mind and you've activated the crown or the corona radiata or what is called Amon's horn. That's why in every statue of Moses, he has horns outside of his head that match the horns inside of his head. And Amon, A-M-M-O-N, controls your emotions and your memories. So if your conscience is healed, no, doesn't matter the system you have, you can't implement the system without the conscious. So when your third eye is activated, that means all 144 attributes and characteristics, that means that you are wise as the serpent, but you harmless as a dove. You can no longer be beguiled. You can't be tricked. You can't be conned. That's why when that happens, you walk through the valley of shadow and death, and you feel no evil. That's when you have the disposition of security and certainty. It's not found in people, places, things, paper, stories. It's found in purpose, person, and place. That person we know as Jesus Christ. But unfortunately, we worship Jesus. We don't do what Jesus did. Even though Jesus said the things that I have done, you shall do. Even though the Bible says faith without works is dead. Negroes are still walking around waiting on Jesus to do something for them that they're supposed to do for themselves. So my brothers and sisters, in conclusion, your mindset is the problem. It's not your tactics. It's not your strategy. It's not your marketing. It's not your mama. It's not your daddy. It's not your brothers. It's not your sisters. It's not your kids. It's not, your pets. It's not Joe Biden. It's not Donald Trump. All that shit is just distractions. that makes you take or have inaction. Everybody on this call, myself included, we have to shift our identity. We got to step into a proper identification that comes from your design. The design comes from a designer. Now, you can hang out with the designer, but the designer already gave you a design. So stop talking to the designer, because he's going to say, I wrote the code already, I put it inside the body, activate it. Why are you telling me to activate it? I gave you the power and the capacity to activate it. You are supposed to govern, rule, control, manage, and lead. That's what the Bible says, so you can be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and dominate, or have dominion. That is what all of us are on this earth to learn how to do. That, my brothers, that, my sisters, is how your awareness or lack of awareness, which is your worldview, which is your belief system about the fundamental aspects of life and godliness, we call that reality. If your beliefs are flawed, your reality is flawed. Your perception is flawed. Your thinking is flawed. Your knowing is flawed. Your doing is flawed. Because guess what? You ain't gonna have no fruit. So if you have any issues in life, check what you know, how you think, how you perceive, which is based upon what you believe. Change your beliefs, change your fruit and your results. Awareness is what I call spirituality. Emotion is what we call materiality. Awareness creates spirit. Spirit drops down and is amplified by emotion that attracts what you manifest. So if you have a manifestation problem, you have an emotional problem. If you have an emotional problem, you have a spiritual problem. Because you should get very emotional about your spirituality, which is a group of related thoughts that comes from your life. I call it purpose. The Bible calls it destiny. You've been predestined. Me, I'm at 336. Who are you? I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to see you guys later on tonight. Join us for the private message, I am money, so we can start operating and vibrating as a vibration equivalent of source on it. We're going to see you guys later on tonight. God bless.